left for servants. Children left for servants and maids. Children left for servants and maids. I asked question in part 1. Where was the mother of Tamar? I asked question. Why couldn't David at least think, why will your son be sick? Because he pretended, but to David he was sick. Not request for nurse, not request for his own mother, requested for your young girl. And what did you do after your own daughter was divorced? What life did you live in the presence of your son? To disregard you a king, he didn't fear banishment, because actually he didn't banish him. He didn't fear death after you didn't kill him. So how come that your son disvalue you that much? This is how children of the rich behave. Many don't have single value for their parents because they actually learn many from their parents. And so how was Amnon able to use his own father, work on his own father's mind to divorce his own sister and get away with it just like that? If not that, Absalom have to avenge her sister. That's the careless life of the rich in our society today. And so when they bring in house girl to their home, their sons divorce them. Their sons maltreat them. They don't care. And in other cases, the careless aspect of it is that some of these young girls and young boys, they were actually raised badly by the maids, because the mothers are societal people. They are great people. The fathers are busy people, the elites. So the children are left for the maid. You see, we've watched so many movies. We have so many things. Children that were left to the maid. Mothers never care. They go to office in the night, banker, and close in the night, and go the next day. And so this young lady you bring in as a maid is already servicing your child of 3 years old. You have had some cases where stepfather is servicing the daughter because the mother was always in the market. And so this young is servicing this little boy. While they are bathing, they are already shaking their stuff. Before the day, this guy is already activated early in age. You see one that the mother packaged to be an holy sister. And in the classroom, public classroom, you see the little girl of how many years, whether 11 or 12, doing tombo on top of a young man. If fornication and immorality everywhere, because they were not wet raised. And these people are children of the rich. While their parents are not at home, they are watching porn. Then the supposed servants are using them. And they still not watch. And so God is telling you parents, that it's time to look onto your children. There's so many parents suffer wreckage at old age. Some of the parents who think their children are somewhere doing well. No, their children in care houses. They're in mental homes. Because they were abused from childhood. They were left. A child left to himself will be destroyed. There was no discipline in Amnon at all. Amnon was not disciplined. Look at what the Bible says about disciplining a child. It said in Proverbs 23 and verse 13, withhold no correction from the child, for if thou be tested with the rod, he shall not die. Did you notice here that Amnon didn't fear David at all? Even David being a king, the child never feared him. I'm looking for another translation. CEV. He said, don't fail to correct your children. You will not kill them by being firm. And it may even save their life. Verse 14. It pains me, really, to see that this guy disvalued his father. How old was Amnon? Amnon was 22 years old. Tamar was 15 years old. Absalom that later took revenge was 20. And David was 53 years old. And so this 20 years old guy, 22 years old guy, have no respect for the palace. Even when the little girl was crying, don't do this. It will be a dishonor to the family. He did it and have every confidence to even drag the sister out. No fear of the father. If your children don't fear you, they will commit everything that they will commit every evil. Parents have lost their guards that their children don't fear them. Some parents are only keeping their children, hiding them, so that they will not insult them in the public. How did it get that bad? Because they allow the children to be maltreated by maids. They allow maids to maltreat the children. Because it is you that will raise your own better. Maids cannot give you the best. And so some of these children were molested from childhood. It affected them mentally. Most of the children in care home, what is replaying on their mind is how their parents treated them, how people treated them at their early age. And so they didn't grow above it. That molestation grew with them. And today we're having issues with the children. This is the issue. Parents, don't let riches and cares and your value, desperation of affluence, going to party, leaving your children behind. Don't let it take away your future. Because you're going to reap of this seed you are sowing in them. They will haunt you in future. At old age, when you are supposed to be happy, the children you refuse to discipline today, the dog you refuse to tame today is going to bite you hard tomorrow. So you have to give room for your children. You have to minimize your appointments, your schedule, your money, your everything. So you can raise a generation for yourself. So your children can be blessing to the society. They will come back to bless you. Any child that is raised well is raised to be a blessing to the society. How are you raising your children? Imagine how David, King David, could he read from the letters, from looking at the son, that demon has taken over this boy. Imagine there was no mother of this boy. This boy was now wide. He could send the servant away. And the servant knew that it doesn't mean the sister didn't cry. So this guy grew wide. The rich son of the rich parents. Servants were not far. Go away. And all of them really responded. All of them went away. And he devoured the sister. How immoral was this family of David? How careless was the rulership? That is why you hear of Adultery. That's why you hear of Absalom do this. That is why you hear of the rebelling their father. Parents, you should never. I feel like shedding tears that the whole David house was that broken down. This is how the house of the Elites have been broken down. Some are even pastors. Some are politicians. I shed tears that a whole David. I have a thought. How did David house crumble that far? That David's son was not afraid to devour David's daughter. A whole King David. That your own son is not afraid to do something. They don't mind whether you hear. And what did David do? David did nothing. Nothing. David. So, this is the consequences of rich parents leaving their children to servant to protect. Amnon parents were not clear, near. Tamar parents mother was not near. Amnon mother was not near. So they could perpetrate evil. The servants were being used. Error from rich parents, raising corrupt and immoral children. Its negligence is raising their children left to servants. A child left to himself will become a chaos to the father. It's terrible. So let's go for that. But I shed tears for the household of David. My name is Pastor Glema. I will continue on this. Corrupt children from rich parents. The role we should play. God bless you all. Shalom.